My word, is this a strange Nerf blaster? And many of you are already lunging into that comment section going, welcome, you big idiot, clickbait! That's not a Nerf blaster, that is clearly a paintball marker! And you would be entirely right and yet hideously wrong, because if you've noticed, it's a 50 caliber paintball marker. And if you knew anything, that the 50 caliber paintballs are the same diameter as Nerf darts, so if you happen to have bought like the Pistol Splat or the Predator or the JT Splatmaster stuff, you would know that those shot Nerf darts ridiculously well. And this is no exception, but unlike all of those things I already listed, this is CO2 powered, and as you can tell, it's not very big. This is going to be a spicy video, and I'm really excited, but why do I have this? Well, I was shopping for something completely unrelated that you will see in a very future video. Actually, not too long, but very soon. And I saw this and I almost couldn't resist. In fact, I sat here and thought about it for a long time, and I went through multiple stages of, oh man, that's so cool, but it's $100, but it might be able to do a thing, but it might be hard to do a thing, and if it's hard to do a thing, it might be easy to break the thing, and I don't really have that kind of money, but it might make a good video, and so forth. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. I don't say that too much, but this was very expensive, and I do hope we enjoy it, because this is the Umarex TR50 Paintball Revolver. You heard me right, a paintball revolver, as I say, as if you haven't seen the thumbnail of the video, because holy crap, that is mean looking. This is definitely not something you want to take outside, because that's a frickin' revolver. That is no joke. This is something you really have to pay attention to. I know there is like the magazine-fed pistols and stuff like that, and I know people have kind of gotten the whole milsim thing into paintball, but most of the time I think about paintball, I think about not this, and yet here we are with a paintball revolver, and paintball hasn't been around for all that long, and it was pretty popular when I was a kid, and while I do know they had paintball pistols, they weren't quite like this one, because this is a freaking revolver. So what do you get? You get the revolver itself, and this is gonna sound stupid, but surprisingly, you also get 4 extra cylinders. I don't know why I didn't know this. I would have read the description of the product, but I thought you only got the one. So I went out and bought extras, because they come in like a 2-pack for like $5. And it turns out it comes with 5 of them. So pretty much you have everything you need right off the bat to use this magnificent beast. And I say magnificent beast because there's a funny thing about this. They advertise on the box that this thing hits, because they advertise on the box that this thing hits 360 FPS. I did a little research, and apparently that's way too hot for most paintball fields. It's actually a safety concern. Apparently paintball is really refined to have a particular FPS limit so injuries don't occur, because they want it to be as safe as possible. I mean, bruises are fun, but actually hurting people is not. And this hits too hard for most paintball fields. I'm not saying you won't find a paintball field that could use this, but right out of the box, it is entirely useless for paintball for the most part, although it is really freaking cool. And let's take a look at it, because as you've probably noticed, this is the cylinder. It is small, but it's just big enough for 50 caliber paintballs, and it's got a safety on it, kind of like a Glock, like an actual firearm safety, and it's got a trigger pull, and that is about all of the working functions, except for the CO2 thing on the bottom, because it actually does use a typical 12-gram CO2 cartridge like this one, and you get about 50 shots per cylinder. And how exactly does it work? Well, as you notice, this right here, you just kind of prime that back and hook it up, and you can drop and eject cylinders out of it, which is pretty neato. Slam that down. Kind of like an HK slap, except for you can't actually do that because it doesn't stick out long enough because it's supposed to be a pistol, but you get what I'm talking about. And then this thing on the bottom is actually where you put the CO2 cartridges. And that's a really interesting system because you kind of put the CO2 cartridge in there, like that, and then you screw this down. But I've used a variety of airsoft guns that use a similar setup, and they automatically pressurize it when you do that. And you will notice that this thing is not pressurized right now, which is great because we don't want it to be. But the thing about the TR50 or T4E or whatever this thing's actually designated as is that it doesn't actually pressurize until you hit this. You can press it in or slap it against something, and when you do that, this little knob right here is going to pop out the back of it. It does look a little goofy, it doesn't have some kind of hammer right there, but it is an interesting system, and might I add that this thing is really well made. It is mostly plastic, although the internals are all metal and whatnot, but it's a very high quality plastic. This thing is really weighty and heavy. I almost dare say it weighs more than an actual revolver. This thing is really, really solid. Although it does have a screwed together construction right here, the seam line is very smooth. They took a lot of care in designing this thing. For the $100 price tag, I think it's well crafted. But yes, it is a $100 paintball marker revolver, and to be perfectly honest, you probably wouldn't use this for anything more than backup, but if you wanted a revolver and paintball, I don't think there are too many options, and this is definitely one of them. Although again, it does use the 50 caliber paintballs, which is a bit weird. Normally you use the much bigger ones, but I don't think there's much of a reason why you couldn't use both at the same time, and well, it works, and it needs the smaller things, because otherwise it would be way bigger, so I get it. But yes, we do need to actually pressurize this thing. There actually does come with a Allen key in here for pressing it in there for screwing it down the first time. I found that you don't need to do that, but it was really hard to unscrew the first actual time I used it. So after that, it should be a little bit better. But you can slap this against something to pierce the cartridge, or you can just press down into it. And again, that knob is going to poke out the back to let you know that this thing is ready to... There we go. Is ready to go. So now the cartridge is pressed and everything is engaged. So if I pull this trigger, I'm going to get a big old blast of CO2 out the muzzle. And well, let's just make sure that this is empty. Yes, it is in fact empty. The barrel is clear because we're going to do a dumb thing where we dry fire the thing. But let's get something fun. Here we go. Here is a D-headed dart. I'ma shoot it. And that sounded about as loud as a firearm, and this thing jumped up and hit me in the face. This thing sounds louder than, like, a 22. It actually is ringing my ears to some degree. It is very loud. I have to preface the fact by, yes, I am a NERF channel, and yes, I do plan on using this for some stupid NERF modification in the very near future. That being said, I'm never going to be able to take this thing out in public, especially if it's a war, like at a park or something, because they don't allow HPA-style things to be used in public areas. I am fully aware of that, and you should be as well. Although, I could definitely take this thing apart and paint it and all that stuff and make it literal revolver looking, but, man, is this thing a lot of fun. It's got a really harsh trigger pull on it, I'm not gonna lie, it's like a very tough trigger pull, but it is freaking cool, man. I can't get over that. It's got Picatinny up at the top, so you can put any kind of optic you want on it. It's got Picatinny down at the bottom, so you could put some kind of laser or flashlight or whatever you have on you, and it is ready to go. Now, again, you get about 50 shots, and after a while, this thing will refuse to fire even though it's pressurized, and at that point, you just need to press this button in with your thumb, and it will release all the extra gas slowly, so it will be safe to store, and it will leak CO2 over time, I'm fairly certain, so do not expect to pressurize this thing and then let it sit for hours and have it still actually fire after that. But you can, of course, stuff it with like a cylinder in it and just pierce it and be able to go, which is really quite neat and really quick to like have this thing holstered on you, and if you need to draw, just tap it against something and you're ready to fire with it. I really want to fire this thing right now. It's going to be a ton of fun. So, I've got these. Now, I'm gonna say right up, these are terrible paintballs. They were on sale, so I picked these up. And these are the JT Splatmaster ammo, so I'm quite aware of them. But the problem with these paintballs I had is that they explode pretty much every single time I shot them. So I actually bought new paintballs, which we're going to test and see if they're any better. And then I'm gonna try to shoot some fresh worker darts out of it, but I have a feeling these are just going to die. I'm probably gonna cut down some Adventure Force waffle tips and see if those hold up a little bit better because they have better glue. But yeah, it's really easy to load these things. We're just gonna open up this package right here, dump a couple of these out. Yes, they are really small, and this one is misshapen. Great. Already, hopefully these work. Oh man, this was like 20, none of these are good. They're all misshapen. Come on. If these explode, I'm gonna be even more upset. Yeah, they just fit in there. There's no way these things are going to be accurate at all. Oh no, they're all bad. They're all misshapen and weird. That is a mighty useful tool, worker. Alright, let's take this puppy outside and see what it can do. Alright, here we go, testing out the new paintballs. Hopefully these don't explode, but that was a problem I had with the other ones. I'm kind of hoping they don't. Again, it has trigger safety, and it has a reasonably strong trigger pull. So let's see what happens, and hopefully we get some shots out of this. Hey, there we go. And yes, it's very, very loud. Very loud. Hey, these are holding up pretty good, though. Hey, there we go. That's loud. What's that really weird is that, like, these don't even seem like paintballs. They just seem like they're filled with some kind of water. And there we go. That was 6 shots. We are now out. Next up, I'm going to see just how fast I can rattle off 6 shots with this thing. Yep. It's not bad. Again, a little bit of a hefty trigger pull, but it's not that bad at all. And the last cylinder. I'm glad none of these paintballs have exploded. Even one-handed, decent accuracy at, well, like, what, not even 20 feet? So now is when we do the fun stuff. We're gonna put a cylinder in there, close it, and we're going to grab a worker dart. This will most likely explode, but it should still be funny. You do have to grab a stick, though, to ramrod it down in there. So, take the dart, fit it in there. This one's a little worn. We'll just ramrod it. We actually should pay attention. We don't want to get it caught in the cylinder because the cylinder rotates on the trigger pull. So we're just going to go like that. Put a cylinder in. And hopefully this should be fun. I am pretty sure it shot the entire dart. I did not see... I didn't see the foam body fly off anywhere. Let's try that again. Try one of these waffle tips. Much tighter fit. There we go. Hopefully this one just survives. I just assume the accuracy is going to be terrible. Oh my god! Bounced back! Still blew the dart up, but hey, at least it went somewhere. Let's try another one. It bounced back and hit me. That one actually survived. Interesting. Just for fun, let's see what it will crony a dart at, even though this cylinder's been quite used at this point. 337. And once more, 445. One more, just for fun. 313. So yeah, that's the TR50 Paintball Revolver. Definitely interesting, definitely fun and cool. Is it useful? No, not really. It's not really useful for anything. I should note that after this thing is getting low and it won't fire anymore, or you want to safely remove your cartridge without just unscrewing this, because of course this entire grip is now pressurized, you just press in this little thing right there. I'm not gonna use it because I'm gonna fire it a little bit more to get my money's worth out of it, but you see, I think there may be a way to actually convert this to be a reliable 6-shot half-dart revolver. I think what I would have to do is I would have to cut this frame up here at the front, because of course this barrel moves back, it's on a spring, and then of course it locks in and there's an indexing mechanism. But if I were to cut these indexing mechanisms off, because these cylinders are again really cheap, and just glue these together and make it so it could fit a 3 glued together cylinder like that, well, that's long enough to have a worker dart or half dart in it, which is great because I could still get it to seal. I just have to put like a pin in there, so that pushes another pin that's already located in the cylinder, you know, kind of thing. You get it. It's possible. The problem is I'd have to cut the frame, I'd have to cut the metal frame, I would have to put metal back in there. Like, I don't know if JB Weld or anything would hold like that, but obviously C02 is really, really tough on plastic. It breaks plastic, so yeah, you'd have to have something in there to really make sure this thing is tough, but I think it could be done. The problem is I don't really feel like breaking my $100 paintball revolver on a chance. If this video is popular, I may do it, so please leave a comment and a like down below, and if this reaches an arbitrary mark where I feel safe, I will kill this for the sake of science. Would it still be useful? No, because no war. I can't take this in a public place. Even if I were to take it apart, because it does have a bunch of screws on it, and paint it, it's still a CO2 almost weapon at this point. Not really good, but it is a ton of fun, and it's something I can keep around to do stupid things with in the backyard and whatnot. So, hey, if you have ideas, drop them down in the comment section below. I'm happy with it. Is it worth $100? Well, depends on what you're using it for. For me, I just wanted to have some fun. I saw it, I pretty much had to get it because it was a 50 caliber paintball revolver, and there's the chance that it could be used to actually be a ridiculously powered short dart shooter sidearm. If you're playing in some kind of unlimited war, this may be the thing for you. We could probably get it toned down too. I mean, I wouldn't expect we couldn't get this thing down to like 250 FPS or something like that to make this actually useful. But yeah, this thing's just a ton of fun. That I can't get over how much fun I'm having with this thing. I'm Walcom S7, thank you very much for watching this video, and of course I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta